Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your coach of the Atlanta Sobble, actually Amungus here. And today we have another battle from the NPA, National Pokemon Association. This week we're going up against Coach Jaded and... Excuse the yawn, sorry. Today we're going up against Coach Jaded and the New York City Sceptile though. Took a rough loss in week 1 to Coach Blount and the New York Naganadels, but you know, we got a pretty interesting game plan for this week coming at you, so we're just gonna hop right into the battle and see how it goes. If I'm not mistaken, let me check the records real quick. I don't want to mistake how Coach Jaded did. Yeah, no. Coach Jaded is also coming off a loss though in week 1. They lost to the New York Knicks. Coach Bishme, you know, a good friend of the channel. If you're familiar with the channel, you probably are familiar with Coach Bishme's content as well. And so, you know, both coaches are hungry for a win here. As we're getting into choosing lead matchup, I kind of had my lead already planned out. I brought a pretty niche set from AZUMARILL, but it's kind of made to get one of the key threats, be it one of the steel types or possibly even Kyurem, out of the way, especially if the Kyurem doesn't carry freeze dry, which, you know, would be kind of a tech, but then again kind of an obvious tech because AZUMARILL is one of the main things that's going to be able to resist the ice type attacks and of course be immune to the dragon type attacks from Kyurem. Basically without freeze dry has no way to hit it. So we're going to lead with the AZUMARILL, just hoping to catch one of the steel types or one of the things that we're really aiming to catch with this thing. But pardon me, I just woke up when I'm recording this, so I might be a little yawny still, but this is obviously not the matchup we're looking for against AZUMARILL. And as a matter of fact, in case this is just an immediate switch into Sceptile, which is a pretty good combination with this Pokemon, we're just going to go right here into Tangrowth. It's going to take kind of a lot from the U-turn, but you know, we're just gonna play it safe. We can always switch back out and shrug off that damage with Regenerator. We're gonna bring out the Kyurem, which is one of the things that we want to lure out as early as possible in the game, get some damage and some pressures on it. We do have enough EVs to live at least one freeze dry, but on AZUMARILL, I mean. But basically, we're just gonna make this first play in order to in order to scout out to see what ice moves my opponent's carrying on this Pokemon. So, Coach Jade is going to go for the Ice Beam here, and that certainly doesn't necessarily guarantee that they don't have freeze dry, but it looks good for me. Obviously, AZUMARILL is going to eat it up wonderfully, and also this is a very unfavorable matchup for Coach Jaded, so it just kind of feels like they have to switch, even though they may not have to. It's not a lot of viable options that Kyurem could be carrying here. Like I said, even the freeze dry, we can take one. It'll do about 60% or so, probably. But he instead goes to his Escavalier, which is actually going to allow us to perfectly use our tech. We're going to be able to trap it with the Whirlpool on the switch end. And like I said, we were hoping to catch one of the steel types of this anyway. From there, we're going to be able to Perish Song. And then with the 3 remaining turns, we're going to be able to use Protect, use Rest, and switch out right in time to effectively kill this thing. Well, not effectively kill this thing. I'm putting a kill on AZUMARILL this week with the Perish Song. Also, another mistake, maybe he predicted I would switch, or more accurately, he probably did not predict me going for a set like this, even though the Whirlpool was kind of a dead giveaway. When he went for the knockoff, it shows that he must have predicted I would have switched. Because then he goes for the poison jabs in order to try to take my AZUMARILL out, and obviously that's not going to work. Ironically, the electric terrain is going to go out right when I need it to in order to rest. Because obviously I had to stay in. Just a little bit longer I had to stay in. Otherwise my Whirlpool would have went away and my opponent wouldn't be able to switch as well. So now, even with my Chestoberry knocked off, I can switch out into whatever I want to. And knowing he's going for Poison Jab, I'm going to go right here. Should take this pretty nicely, even though my Lando is actually not defensive this week. It's max attack in order to try to get as much, you would call it chip damage, because it's not going to be great damage on the Corviknight, but I thought Corviknight was a likely switch in onto Landorus, and so therefore I have a little bit of tech in order to deal with that. So yeah, as I said, the Escavalier is going to go down to the Perish Song, and that's going to be a kill for AZUMARILL. Not exactly the most reliable tech. It's a little bit. Oops, wrong one. It's a little bit difficult to pull off at times. But now that it pretty much, did its job, AZUMARILL can just come in, soak up attacks. My opponent will show the freeze dry here, and that'll be a sack of my AZUMARILL. But AZUMARILL did a great job for me already, and we take that. It actually leaves me a pretty good opportunity to send this out, and while speed is a slight issue in this battle, Urshifu can pretty much bully this team around quite a lot. It's able to go for a pretty consequence-free Max Knuckle here. It only has base 95 power on the Max Knuckle, but as I said, it's pretty consequence-free because anything you could switch into still going to take a decent amount, and then being at +1. Besides Tapu Koko or Sceptile, if electric seed pops, I can outspeed everything. So yeah, we're gonna get Gigantamax up here. Go for that Max Knuckle. They're gonna let me take down the Curum, get my first boost. I'm not sure if that's the correct play, but as I said before, all the switch-ins are pretty much not good. You could maybe go to Pre-Marina, but it's probably better to send out Pre-Marina from the kill if that's the route that you're going to go, because you don't want the extra damage with me able to go for max one blow, especially get through any protects and guarantee a crit. Coach Jada instead, they're going to go for Corviknight here anyway, and they're actually also going to Gigantamax up. So we're just going to keep, like I said, Urshifu can kind of take like a bully route against this team. We're just going to Max Knuckle again. And although my opponent can go for the Max Flying move, it's not Max Wormwind here, it's a G-Max Wind Rage. We're really not too fearful of that. Well, of course we do have the Focus Sash, but we're also, you know, getting boosts, powering up. We're able to eat it up, even though our sash was broken and it was a critical hit. So, like I said, we're not afraid of that. A little bit of RNG going my opponent's way, but it's not too bad. My opponent actually ends up going for the Max Guard, clearly forgetting that my G-Max one blow can hit them through the Max Guard, or maybe just predicting that I will go for the third Max Knuckle, which obviously, because of the option to go for Max Guard, and because of the way that Corviknight ate up that second Max Knuckle that I clicked on, that was obviously not the play, but you know, it could have been a prediction on my opponent's side. It ended up working out for me regardless, and that kind of thing. Forgot I took out the Kuro. And yeah, Wicked Blow is going to take down the Corviknight. We got a pretty decent lead at this point in the game, although, as I had stated before, my opponent does have a couple potential answers. As far as speed goes to Urshifu, they did a decent job of soaking up Dynamax turns with Corviknight. And this is one of those things that can outspeed me, so you know, I still have to give respect to that. Honestly, looking at my opponent's remaining team, they still have a very workable core of Pokemon left. We can't afford to get hit with a Dazzling Gleam here, so we're just going to go for Sucker Punch, max damage, and, you know, being as low of health as we are, just basically do what we can to hurt the Tapu Koko. It's going to go for Iron Head. Like I said, that was basically the only play I had to get some damage off. So from there, I may have been able to play this differently. You know, maybe I should have went to Entei here with how weakened it was. I could have took one hit almost certainly, unless it was like some crazy bandit set. But no, if it was bandit, then it would have been locked into Iron Head. So I think that to go Entei there may have been the best play. I could have clicked agility on the U-turn, which, yeah, he'd been shown in this battle from the first turn that he was Life Orb. So, appears to be a physical Life Orb set on the Tapu Koko. Which, by the way, if you want to check out Coach Jaded's side of this battle, his channel link will be in the description. Make sure that you go check him out if you're trying to support the channel. The best way that you can do that is really to support my fellow content creators and you know, the people that I collaborate with, as well as well, I guess it would still be a collaboration in a way to work together in draft leagues. But here we're gonna go for the Giga Drain on the Primarina. It should do a lot of damage, giving us a lot of health back. This is an Assault Vest Tangrowth. So, you know, this matchup was kind of something that we planned out in prep. Kind of knew that this would happen. But we did not know that we would get frozen here. And to get frozen here totally switches the momentum in my opponent's favor. Not getting that health back from the Giga Drain, which should have been you know, it should have been able to live, the Primarina, I mean. That's not the issue, but really wanting that damage definitely is. Plus, also now my Tangrowth is frozen, so he can't come in, click one move, and come out. It just sits there frozen. Gives my opponent a free switch into his Unburden user, Sceptile. A powerful and potent Unburden user for sure. And yeah, there's not a lot that we can do. We can do our best to get a lot of switches off and that kind of thing. But really just doing nothing but jockeying for position. Trying to make my opponent to make a mistake is really what I'm doing at this point, but the matchup's pretty much already been blown out of proportion, and as I said, from that Ice Beam, even though I felt like I was playing, you know, kind of well in that sort of thing, the Ice Beam pretty much shifted it into Coach Jaded's favor. And truthfully, both coaches are probably aware there's not a ton of time left at this point in the match. So he's kind of got a swords dance up and get to finishing me. Because if he doesn't do it fairly quick, he may not have the time to. And there may have been a slightly better way that I could have went about some of these switches. But I think more overall, I should have went to the Entei earlier, or maybe even the Drapion, but probably the Entei. Drapion would have been good because it actually hits all three of his remaining Pokemon super effectively, but it doesn't have a way to boost his speed and gets outsped by 2 out of the 3. So, you know, that can be troublesome. As you see, the Earthquake from the Sceptile, when boosted, is going to be able to take care of my Drapion. But I didn't really protect myself against this against my opponent's win condition. That would be what I call my key mistake in this game, not thinking of, well, not keeping in mind what my opponent's win condition is, and allowing them, even though I was, especially once I got ahead in the battle, losing track of my opponent's win con allowed them to execute it more effectively and put me in this position where by this point their win condition is basically achieved, and there's not really a whole lot that I can do in order to pick up the victory here. If I were to somehow deal with this Sceptile with the 3 Pokemon that I'm kind of pivoting around here, it would have been a predictive set of plays, series of plays, to the point where you would only be able to call that amount of prediction pretty much luck. Yeah, once the Landorus takes as much damage as it does, it's pretty much over from that point. With also just 2 minutes remaining, it's definitely over from that point. There's nothing left that I could really do but let it go down. And like I said, it's you know, credit to my opponent for sticking to their win condition, executing. You know, Pokemon has hacks. It's a part of the game. We're all aware that it's a part of the game that nobody can control. And I would just basically say, you know, my opponent didn't win because of the hacks. My opponent won because they were able to maintain their win condition and win a little bit of hacks presented them with the opportunity. They were able to capitalize on the opportunity and fulfill that win condition and execute that win condition. So we're gonna just basically click through the moves here, and we're gonna let my opponent take down the rest of my Pokemon. That's gonna give the New York City Sceptiles. Oh wait, I think I spoke too soon. He doesn't take down the last one actually, but we're gonna click as many moves as we can, and we're gonna try to give the New York City Sceptiles the 3-0 win, but it's actually gonna end out as a 3-1. A Tangrowth does what Tangrowth does. Shout out to Coach Jaded, and of course all the other coaches in the MPA. We'll be back this week some point with a battle against Coach Sosa and the Los Angeles Infernape, so be on the lookout for that. Until then, actually Amungus signing off. Peace.